In this sponsored tutorial, I'm going to show you how the Bridge theme now integrates with Elementor. There are 98 brand new widgets built by the Bridge theme developers that you can now use inside of Elementor. There's 54 different complete websites to be imported into Elementor with the Bridge theme. It is the #1 best-selling theme on ThemeForest for a reason, so make sure you check out this video. If you have any questions or comments throughout this video, please leave them down below. I'll try to answer them the best I can. And my name is Bjorn Allpass from WP Learning Lab, where we help you get better at WordPress so you can earn more for yourself, for your clients, and for your business. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to click subscribe and ring the bell. And we're getting started on this tutorial right now. The Bridge theme is the #1 best-selling creative theme on ThemeForest, and I did a tutorial for it previously. And in this tutorial, we're going to look at what's new. If you want to see what's already there, look at the old tutorial. It's linked to in the description down below, so check that out. And what's new, the big news now, is Elementor integration. There are 54 websites, complete website designs that can import and use with Elementor. In total, there are 430 complete website demos. This isn't just one page, it's complete websites. And I go into detail on this in the previous video. And here we see there are 54 websites, complete websites built in Elementor. And so you can import them and then you can edit them as you would any Elementor page. And I'm not going to show you how to import websites in this tutorial either. They have a great tutorial for that on the Code Themes website, linked to in the description down below. What I am going to show you in this tutorial is all the Elementor stuff that you get. So you get the 54 Elementor templates that you can import, full websites, and you also have access to Elementor widgets that come with the theme. Code is the theme developer, Qode, and they have created, as of this recording, 98 widgets for Elementor, which we can see here. They're red, and as I scroll down, you'll see there is a metric ton of Elementor widgets. And so all these come built into the theme. So when you're creating or importing Elementor templates into the Bridge theme, you of course can add all these to your Elementor pages. And so in this video, I'm going to show you what all these widgets can do for you. A lot of them we can see on their website in action. Some of them we can't. They're not listed on the website. Here is under Elements, all the widgets that they have available on their site that we can take a look at. We're going to look at a lot of them here, and the ones we can't see here, we're going to create in Elementor, and we're going to see what they look like there. And all of these widgets, you have to keep in mind, are Elementor widgets, and they have options like Elementor widgets. This one here, for example, is the blog slider, and we can see that there are a lot of options to customize the blog slider. And every widget that they have has a lot of options to customize. So it's not just one simple piece of text in the Elementor widget. They're actually really well thought out and provide you a lot of flexibility in the design and customization of the widgets. As I go through these widgets, I'm going to try to pretty much go in order, the order they have here. So we're going to start with call to action, then do this one on the right, then go left and right, back and forth, so that I have something to reference so I don't miss any as I go. So the first one is the call to action widget. Under Elements, we can see call to action right here. And it shows us some examples for the call to action. This one has a nice gradient background. Of course, you can add a gradient background to whatever you want in Elementor. But this is what the call to action widget looks like. Next, we have animated text with icons, or animated icons with text, sorry. This is how they look. As we hover, we can see we can animate them. You can change how many you have in a column, how many rows you have. All that can be changed. Nice image to the left of this one here. And a lot of options to customize these as well with a parallax background. Very nice. Then we have a straightforward banner, which is just an image in the background and some text over top that fades in a different piece of text as you hover over it. You can have various numbers, as you can see. You can add a call to action above them if you want. Nice, easy way to add some nice image blocks to your website. Next, we have block quotes, which are just block quotes. Nobody's really created any spectacular design in regards to block quotes, but they're in there and they're useful, and you can see them here. Next up, we have buttons. There are a bunch of button options, including gradients, which you can see here, different button sizes, custom colors, shapes, custom fonts, fancy link types. So you can customize buttons in all kinds of ways. Next up, we have the process, which is basically progressing through a number of steps. And these images are joined by a dotted line in the background. You can turn that on or off in Elementor if you want to. But basically the concept is you're stepping someone through a process. And you can really see that down below even these ones with these titles: research, web design, development, then testing. Or here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 with the numbered process. And that makes much more intuitive sense that it's a process, like a progression through certain steps. And these dotted lines connect those steps. So it makes sense visually as well. And then we have some client options, as in logos. We see these nice clean display for logos with these dividers. It's kind of who our clients are kind of thing. Usually you see them like this one here, just one horizontal row. But here they've added some nice dividers if you have 2 rows. And on a parallax background, I think this would look nice with the dividers as well, with that image in the back. Next up, we have the content slider, which is right here. And this one's sliding a little fast, probably a setting wrong on their site. But this is the content slider up here, if you focus on the top one. Nice and clean. Here's another one. Kind of the same idea. And then next up we have the countdown. Countdowns are available in Elementor Pro, and a lot of other plugins can add this functionality as well. But it's basically just a countdown. And you can define which numbers appear, which items you're counting down. Here we have months, days, and hours. On these two down here, we have months, days, hours, minutes, and seconds. This timer is already done, as you can see. That's what it looks like when it's done. And here's when it's still counting down with a parallax section in the background. Next, we have cover boxes, which are right here. And at any point, feel free to go to this website and check out all the different elements they have and what they all look like. I like the effect of these cover boxes. As I hover over the next image, it slides over and reveals the text content. I quite like that effect. It's very unique. I haven't seen that a lot. And it looks especially nice with nice clean images like they have here. And next we have what they call expanding images. That's right here. And it is basically a image set, which when you start the Elementor widget, you have this image, this desktop computer, and the first image you add goes into this desktop computer, and these other images are added alongside. You can add more and more images. You don't have to fill all these up. You can have just these 2 on the side plus these 2, or all 8, 4 on each side, or 2 on each side. And it's a unique way of displaying images. Not something I've seen very often. And there's a Google Maps element. Any add-on with its salt has one of these. This one allows you to customize the color of the map, which is pretty awesome. You do have to connect to the Google API, which is not hard. They have documentation that walks you through that. So you can add Google Maps to your website. They have created a horizontal marquee or a text marquee, which is basically the scrolling text in the background. You can put that anywhere you like. It's a really cool effect scrolling through the background. It's subtle, at least with this color scheme, it's subtle. You could be very obnoxious with bright colors, but I think it's a nice effect having that scrolling marquee in the back. And next we have icon with text. And again, if you're wondering what order I'm going in the order that we see here on this list of widgets inside of the plugin. So icons with text, we have icons with text. Pretty well explained or well named, I'd say. Nice and clean. Bunch of different ways to lay them out. That's the icons with text widget. Next is the image gallery, which we see over here. And this is an image gallery. Nice and clean, easy to use, functions as a slider. Next we have image hover, which we can see on this page. Some subtle effects when you hover over images. This is a slight zoom in effect. Here we have a darker overlay effect. You can define different effects inside the widget when you create it. Those are 2 examples. And then image with text is the next widget. And we have images with text below them. Headline and paragraph text. We see various styles here. And then we have the in-device slider. And this is a slider that is in these devices, which is a pretty cool feature. So you add images to the widget and they slide across these different device types. And I think that's a pretty neat effect. Definitely one you don't see very often. Then we have some graphing options. Let's check out the line graph. I like how these graphs grow These obviously depend on the numbers you input, so the graph you create will be whatever your numbers represent, or whatever your numbers are for that particular graph, and it would draw the line as you define. And as they load, they grow from 0 up to where they belong in the chart. I think that's a really neat effect. I'm going to do the next ones a little out of order because they are the graphs as well. They appear in a different part of this list of widgets, but it makes sense that I show them now because they're part of the graphing elements. We have pie charts available to us, and there's a bunch of different designs. As you can see, you can change the thickness of the charts, images in the back, have percentages, or have icons in the middle. And they just grow or color in the area as you've defined. And then we have the masonry gallery. The link to that one is right here. And this shows a masonry layout of content on the site. And this is what it looks like. And of course, it's all customizable inside the Elementor widget. Then we have the message boxes. These ones are kind of like alerts that appear on a page, and the user can click X to close them. Those are pretty handy in many different situations. Next up, we have lists, which are on the right-hand side over here. And there's 3 different types. We have the ordered list, which is numbers. We can see that here. We have the unordered list, which is bullets. And we have icon lists, which we can see here and here and here. And we can define what the icons are. We can change all the colors. And I think having the icons makes the list much more engaging. For each item here, there's a different icon, but you can have it all be the same icon. Here's an example where I have 2 presents in a row. You can have the same icon for all of them if you wanted to. Or you can have a different one for each one. Next up, we have some parallax options. We have the parallax grid, which looks like this. There's parallax images in the background. You can do this with Elementor Pro, but if you don't have Elementor Pro, you can do it with Elementor Free and this theme. We also have parallax wide, which is full width sections. Again, Elementor Pro gives you this functionality. If you don't have it, you can get it through this theme. And then we have the preview slider, which is right here. And that just means that we can see the next slide, see a preview of the next slide. So we have the main slide in the middle, and we can see a preview of the next slide. And this one's even a little more unique. We have the main image in the back, and the secondary image you can have in this little cell phone right here. Pretty interesting little slider. Then we have a pricing list, which is right here. And it's great for making a menu, just a pretty basic pricing list. Elementor does not do this very well, and this theme does it quite nicely, nice and clean. Nice to have some images in here as well, which you can add in, but this is the pricing list. We can also create pricing tables, which we see here. Nice, clean pricing tables. Simple one down here, just 1 column. And this one's a little more advanced where it has the 1 column image, then 2 columns for the second part, and then 1 column down below. And you can configure them all kinds of different ways. Next, we have various kinds of progress bars. So let's look at the traditional one, the horizontal progress bar, which we know and love. We've seen these ones for years. We also have vertical progress bars. These you do not commonly see. These would be great for making animated graphs or just progress bars that animate, which is pretty cool. Then we also have icon progress bars, where we see these icons filling up with color, and that gives us the rating of whatever our rating scale is. For the first one, for example, we have 13 coffees available, and we have 11 of them filled in. And so we're 11 out of 13 for graphic design. And you can have as many as you want, or as few as, well, not as many as you want. You can have, there's a certain upper limit. I don't know what that limit is, but there's quite a few. You can see there's a lot in this rating scale here. And the colors just fill up as you define to show whatever the rating scale is for that progress bar. We can have separators with icons and with text. Here's a separator with text. Right here we have a single line, dotted line, and a double line with text in the middle. Here we have separators with icons that you can use, or just unique separators like the zigzag or the flower or this unique one here. They're very subtle, but they can definitely spice up your site. We also have service tables, which is just a set of services that you'd offer. You see these quite commonly on websites. You have an icon and then just a quick list or a little paragraph, a little sentence about what that icon means and what you do. So we have a widget specifically for that built into the theme. We also have social icons and social buttons built in. Here are the icons in color. Here they are in grayscale. And we have social buttons. We see them here. These are actually functional buttons. Google Plus doesn't function anymore, but the Facebook one, it's an actual like button. It's a real button. The tweet button actually works. The save to printers button actually works. So they're real live buttons. Then we have a team widget for showing your team. We see that here. Hover over any of these images. We have information that we enter. We can have the information below them as well. Various styles, various designs, nice and clean. We have some testimonials widgets, which we can find right here. Nice little testimonial slider. Nice little testimonial with the parallax image in the background. And there's various configurations we can create. This is just showing a different design, kind of a masonry type design. Testimonials in simple transparent boxes. Testimonials with some information on the side. A bunch of different ways we can configure those. We can also create a vertical split slider, which we see right here under slider split. As I scroll down, you'll see that the two sides of the page go opposite directions. The left side goes up, the right side goes down. And as I go backwards, the right side goes up, left side goes down. So that's the vertical split slider. Pretty cool effect. We have an accordion widget and some toggles. Here they are here. Accordions just like you'd normally see on a lot of different builders. They're nice and clean. You can have images on the side. They look really good. We also have an advanced image gallery, which we can see right here. And this advanced just means different ways to stack and display our images. Here we have kind of a random assortment of images. Here we have Pinterest style. And there's standard options where all the images are the same size. I like this first one. It's more visually interesting, I think. We also have the advanced price list, which is similar to the regular price list, just a few more design settings so you can customize them a little more. And here we see the advanced price list. Looks great for a menu. And we also have the tabs element, which is very similar to the accordion. They're usually lumped together in the same kind of category, but they're tabs. Where you click on tabs and it switches out the content. Here's one with an image on the side. Here's one with an image right in the tab. Nice, clean looking tabs. Here's one that's very different in how it looks. The right-hand side stays the same. The left-hand side switching out in this example. We can also create a call to action section, which is right here. And this is a much bigger area where we have a call to action. So this is all these images and this text right here. This is the call to action section. It's quite unique. And then we have the cards gallery, which we can see here. And basically it's cards of these images. As you click on them, it switches them out. I've never seen that before, that kind of functionality. It's pretty cool. We also have the cards slider, which we can see right here. And this one has kind of a card background in the bottom and images that slide over top. Pretty cool design features there. We have comparative features tables right here. I'm sure you've concluded by now there's a whole lot of widgets with a whole lot of possibilities for you to create awesome websites built right into this bridge theme. And here's the comparative features table. You see these quite often on any website where there's different plans you can purchase and you can just compare features. And that's how it looks. And of course, you're free to customize the colors and the layout and add more columns, fewer columns, and all that good stuff using Elementor. We also have a Crossfade Images widget, which we can find right here. And what this is, as we hover, the images switch out. So we have this very heavily stylized image as the base image. When we hover over it, we get the real image. And those are two different images. This is not the plugin or the widget creating the stylized version of the image. This stylized version was created somewhere else, like Photoshop, for example. And then the original and the stylized version were used together to create this effect in the widget. I like that nice zooming effect as you hover over them. We have an elliptical slider, which is a unique take on the sliders. We have this elliptical area here. It's not a full ellipse, but we get the idea. And as we slide through the slides, we see the images being replaced in the elliptical or the rounded area. That's the elliptical slider. We can have gradient icons, which we can see here. We of course know what icons look like, and this allows us, instead of having a solid color for the icon, we can have a gradient, which is pretty subtle as I hover over these. Let me zoom in, you can see a bit better. So it's a pretty subtle gradient in this case, but we can add a gradient to, here it's much more visible here. We add a gradient to our icons on hover in this case. And of course you can make that so the gradient is always there, or it's on hover or not on hover, or however you want to set it up with using all the Elementor options available in the widget. A lot of flexibility in creating those, pretty unique look. Then we have info cards. Just going to zoom out again so we can see the whole menu. Here are the info cards here. And we can create them with images on the top. We can create them with icons, the images behind the icons. We have an interactive icon showcase, which we can see here. And I like how those icons fly out. As we hover over them, the text in the middle changes. And this is the interactive icon showcase. That's a really unique look. You don't see that very often. It's pretty awesome. We also have a calculator widget. In this case, it's a pricing calculator. You can also create an interest calculator, but this allows us to use the toggles to add pricing. So this is for a dentist, clearly, but say you want dentures, $450. Bridges too, $785. Crowns, $1660 in total. This is all of them adding. This is adding up all of them as you do this. Inlays, composite fillings. This is a hugely expensive dentist bill, and we've added them all up using this great little pricing table. That's pretty neat. You can of course use this for whatever you want. We have a report sheet element, which is right here. This example is an annual report, and the line items for those reports. It's basically just a really nice looking table, and you can use it for reports. You could also probably use it for the cost of oranges over various months, which I guess would be a report in itself. So reports is probably a good description of this kind of table. Then we have the scrolling image or sliding image, which we can see here. This is the sliding image here. It's going to slide all the way across to the image ends, and then it's going to loop around and show the same image again and slide some more. It's a pretty cool widget. One of my favorite ones is called the specification list, which is this one here. It's basically a data table, in this case for these cars, but I really like it. I really like how it's laid out, and it's nice and clean. You don't see this kind of list very often, and it's super easy to make with the Elementor widget built into this theme. And then we have a video box widget, which we can see here. Just a placeholder for a video. Click on any one of these. It opens up the video in a light box, and you can play the video just like you'd expect you could. And we also have something called a workflow. And this is kind of like, or you can use it for lots of things, but you could use it for something that's kind of like the Facebook timeline, where each of these dots represents a year and maybe your company's history or your history or whatever. And then you can have information about each year, each section. I'm sure you can figure out all kinds of ways to use this. I think using it as a timeline is probably the most obvious one. But it's a really cool, really simple to build workflow built right into the theme. So that's demos for all the widgets that you can see on their site. I encourage you to go there and check them out. I'm going to build some more widgets inside of this little demo site because not all of them are covered on their website, specifically the ones relating to blog posts and portfolios and things like that. I'm going to show you on this page here how they look and how they work and some of the functions and features you have available to you. I just paused the video, did a little tweaking to configure these a little more for this video, and these are the widgets that weren't on the website, like I said. So this first one here, this is the blog slider widget. There is a whole bullet of options, as you can see on the left-hand side, for you to be able to customize how this works and how it appears. And it just basically slides through your blog posts, as many as you want, and the ones you define. And it's really nice, really good looking. And you click on this link, and it takes you to the blog post where people can read the blog post. Then we have a gallery, kind of like a carousel in this case, where the next image is faded out, preview the next image, and you can click the navigation arrows and it goes to the next image and back and forth all through the image gallery, which we have set up on the left hand side here. Here we have the latest post version 2, which is basically a list of latest posts, as the name implies, and it is just a nice card that you can customize, obviously, and you display the most recent posts that hopefully people will click on. And this is great to add to the bottom of a blog template, and then people will finish reading your blog post, and they can pick the next post from this list. That would be the ideal. Here's another version, the blog masonry of latest posts or posts that you define. This one here is portfolio. As part of the theme, there's a portfolio custom post type. When you add portfolio items, you can add to this portfolio list, which is what this is here. I didn't have a lot of images. Looks like the same images as the blog, but this is in the portfolio that I set that up. And again, my other video goes in detail about all the stuff Bridge can do, so check that out. Card up above, description down below. This widget here is the portfolio slider. So it's the portfolio again, just a different take on how to display things. And again, lots of customization options on the left-hand side. Here we have a big call to action button with a nice gradient in the back. Here we have latest posts blog carousel. And this allows us to show a blog carousel where it rotates through the blog post. I currently only have 3, but it'll rotate through them. And you can change the title. You can change the excerpt length. You can customize pretty much everything. Most importantly, you have a build query, so you can specifically tailor which posts appear in this list, and that's really handy. Then we have a see more text option, or see more whatever it is. It could be see more pictures, see more whatever. You just add the content in this content area down here, and somebody clicks on this link and it toggles whether they want to see more or less of whatever it is. We have a horizontal timeline. We saw a vertical one earlier. Here's a horizontal one. Someone clicks on these different dates, which you can customize on the left-hand side by adding more items. You can have as many as you want, and it will cycle through images associated with those dates. Here we have image with icon and text, icon on the front, image in the back, text down below. And I'm going to hop out to the front end now, because some of these functionalities only work on the front end. I passed one earlier, this one here, which is the comparison slider. It's not working in the Elementor page builder for some reason, but if I preview this in the front end, and I scroll down, we have the image slider pop in right here. So this is our two images here. We have these houses and this carriage. We see them here, the houses and the carriage. And we can slide this back and forth to reveal and hide whichever image the user wants to reveal and hide. This is quite commonly used on image compression sites where they compare the quality of a compressed image to a non-compressed image to show that their plugin rocks. This is super simple to do with this theme. This would also be great for before and after images of, say, a house reno or someone getting in shape or cooking skills or interior design skills or who knows. Lots of applications for that. And here's our horizontal slider again. Here's how it works in the front end. And here we have another list of blog posts, this time a vertical list. And down here we have a quote with a nice quote box, which you can customize in great detail inside of Elementor. We have general options to customize and then style options to customize. So pretty much every single widget we cover in this video, and there's 98 of them, come with a boatload of options in Elementor. So the ones that you saw, they might not be all the options that you can have. The best example I can give is this one up here, where we have currently this appearance. This is the slider type of simple. You can also have a slider type of carousel, which looks very different, but it's the same widget. And that will slide through the posts. Currently I only have 3 posts here, so it's not sliding through anything. But my point is that you can have different designs for the same widget. So we have 98 widgets, but many of those can have very different appearances depending how you customize the settings. All that to say, make sure you go to the Bridge theme website, check out what they have to offer. It is the #1 best-selling creative theme on ThemeForest for a reason. They've now integrated deeply with Elementor, and I think you'll really like the widgets they have to offer. So make sure you go check them out. There's a link in the description down below. And I also encourage you to watch the original Bridge theme video I made. There's a link to it right here. That video goes over all the other options that aren't Elementor related that are also available in the Bridge theme, and there are a lot of them. So check out that video, and then make sure you click subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any future videos. My name is Bjorn Allpass from WP Learning Lab. Until next time, keep crushing it, and I will see you in the next video.